Hello, all you wonderful, beautiful humans. How you doing? It's your girl, Olga, and you are watching the Olga S. Pérez Show live. What's up? Great to see you. Make sure to leave a comment, especially if you're here in my live. It's funny now I'm pointing with this. This is my female style cigar. which is a lip gloss. I'm like, I can't believe I don't have a cigar on hand. And it just came to me like last minute. I'm like, you know what? I am channeling Andrew Tate, as you see from the title. I like to talk about everything. Whatever anybody's like having a fuss about, whether it's politics, society, culture, what's trending, you name it. And I give you my insight on how I see it. Let me call this out. First and foremost, for the record, I've never seen Andrew Tate, never heard of him, nothing. I literally was watching somebody else's YouTube channel last week, and then in the title, I just watch the same channel. I watch their lives every week, whatnot. And this one, I didn't even realize because I just follow them and I just watch all their lives, that the actual title said Andrew Tate in it. I'm like, who's Andrew Tate? So I kind of go down the rabbit hole. I try to find out who this person is. What are they talking about? And this particular channel, it's called The Lion King. Oh my God, I can't believe I said The Lion King. It's the Leo King channel from David Palmer, astrologer. And so I'm like, oh, and you guys, if you know me, you know I'm into astrology. I do all that thing. And especially if you guys join me live today, let me know what your sign is, what's going on. I will tell you what I think if you want to know. Like a raw and real, just quick reading, like, what's up? And then you can tell me, oh my God, she's kind of right. Or no, she's way off, Let me know. I also want to make it very clear that when I wrote in the title, I'm going to do a reaction to Andrew Tate. And I'm also going to do a reaction video. I've gotten many requests for two artists in specific. One, Tom McDonald, of course. Hashtag HOG, right? Hangover Gang. And Sansom. Which, by the way, I've never seen him, never heard of him, but I've already got the request a couple times. So I was like, God, what do I do today? So I'm hoping that you guys are going to join me live and tell me in the live chat, who do you want me to do the reaction video today? I'm going to do the reaction video to all the requests that I've gotten. But today I'm going to pick one. And I want you guys to help me pick one. And if you guys don't care and you don't say anything, then I'm going to flip a coin. And I'm going to do one. But rest assured, I will do all the reaction videos that everyone's requested in the comments. And if you already know that your comments are my fuel, keep them coming. I do read them and I will respond. So, make sure to say hello and let me know where you're chiming in from, what part of the world you're at, and how you doing. Okay? All right. So, obviously it's been a few days since the whole Andrew Tate thing started. And as I said, I had no clue who this person was. So I start looking. Now, the first video that I watched, they mentioned something about he's doing some web stuff. Like one of his incomes is like web and like having a woman like get on the camera and do some things but I honestly couldn't find any of those allegations or accusations. But then from the moment that I saw it and heard it, and that was last week, it was last Thursday, then of course the media comes up with all this stuff. And then it's funny that I couldn't do the live sooner, and then today when I do the live, I see that just yesterday Andrew Tate post a video. And he titles it Andrew Tate final message. So I looked at the timing. I'm thinking it's going to be like a 3-minute video, like Will Smith apology video, which, by the way, I haven't done yet. And I'm going to get down and give you my 2 cents and insights on that video. But Andrew Tate just came sliding right in. And when I looked at the time, it's like an hour and 13 minutes. I'm like, oh, God, that's too long. So I actually watched it this morning and figured out, like, what am I getting from this? Does it change the way I've been thinking about him? Do I think he's sincere in this? All these things. So I'm not going to go through the entire video. You guys can check it out for yourself. But I will tell you what I got from him and everything else that I've seen. So, like I said, I'm channeling Andrew Tate here with this outfit. With my sunglasses. Maybe I'll take them off mid live stream. And, like a segue, especially for your live chat. So here we go. So apparently he was a fighter, right? Forgive me, it was UFC, MMA fighter. I don't know why I'm like all of a sudden drawing a blank. And then he starts talking all this stuff. And I've watched tons of videos, social media posts. And I'm like, this guy's just young. And first of all, and most important, like I said, number one, never knew this guy existed at all. Then it's, let's ban him. And then days later, he gets banned. As I've said in all my videos, and I will continue to say, I don't care who you are or what you're doing. No one should be banned. Because think about it. Do you think if he came out in the main plaza of your town or whatever, like, are we really going to ban him? Like, lock him up, stuff him in a bottle and throw him out? You know what I mean? Like, no, if some asshole or whoever is talking shit, or we don't agree with them, right? Or they're not talking shit, they're talking some truth, and we don't agree with it, we're offended. So what? We're like, all right, man, shut up. Or you just ignore him, or you walk away. Or like a bad act in a theater in old school style, they're throwing tomatoes at you. And they're like, I don't like you, boo, whatever. But to ban him? I'm like, unless this guy is raping, torturing children, doing all kinds of stuff that it's just, maybe it should be in the dark web. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, look that up. Because everybody thinks that this is the web, the main web, and everything that ever has to be known and anything that's true is here. And if you know about the dark web, then you know that we're like the tip of the iceberg. Google, Instagram, all these things are the tip. And the dark web is so much deeper and larger. Okay? Let's keep that in mind. But I'm like, again, I'm not in favor for banning anyone. If anything, we should learn. Like, well, first of all, why does anybody care? Well, because he has a following. He has a say. He's got some level of clout and power, attention. But then again, are we actually looking at the statistics and the real analytics on who are his followers? Are they really here in the U.S.? Are they Western culture? You know what I mean? Because the big thing is that they called him a misogynist. But like I said, I read some stuff about him, keeping a girl captive or whatever. And it's like, again, is it rumors? Are people just making shit up? Happens all the time. But then I'm just going, okay, I'm just looking at what this guy's saying. Do I like him? No. In fact, without knowing much about him, and I just asked my own instinct, I'm like, this guy's an idiot in the sense that he's young. But I think there's a lot of things that he says that are good and positive. I mean, I like the badass attitude, the strong attitude, especially in a world of snowflakes and victims. And of course, there are victims, legit victims, but everybody wants to be a victim nowadays. Or an influencer. And it's either because it's all physical, it's all superficial, it's all materialistic. So to me, let's look for people that really have true clout, where they are real influencers because they're doers, they're movers, they're shakers in a real way. Not because they look a certain way or they say certain things. You can say whatever you want. Like, does that make it a fact? So get this. I'm going to screen share. I got some tabs open up, ready to go. And I might be like, hey, Alberto, welcome. What's up? Hi. So I will be looking at the chats as we're going through it. And then in the end, I can't wait to see what you guys have to say and your questions and your remarks and your thoughts and your opinion. But yeah. All right. So I'm going to screen share. Let me see. So it's funny. There's this guy the first guy I'm going to screen share. He's called Real Coffee with Scott Adams. Isn't that I really follow him or watch all his stuff? But today I actually happened to click, and he has nothing about Andrew Tate in the title, and I have an instinctual feeling. And boom, check this out. Because I have an issue with banning, period, okay? And then I'll get into the Andrew Tate and the male and the female and what is the truth about this? Or at the very least, my truth, my opinion. Okay. So here we go. Screen share. Here we go. You guys see this? You see me? All right. Are you familiar with this guy? All right, so check this out. So he had something interesting to say that I would have never known, never saw coming. So listen to this little tidbit.
I understand you banned Andrew Tate. There's a video on there you need to get rid of, in which he claims that I promoted vaccines and masks. Now, those are lies. They're not the only lies there. The other lies are incredibly misogynistic. And I can't believe you let that video up there, YouTube. So YouTube, what the fuck are you doing? You motherfucking pieces of shit. You cunts. You absolute cunts. If you're going to get rid of Andrew Tate, get rid of all of it. Because that's the worst thing he has on there. And it's still there. You motherfuckers. Have any of the... do I have the attention of any of the censors yet? You stupid fucking cunts. You absolute pieces of shit. You fucking motherfucking assholes. You listening yet? Because this is just to the censors. If you're watching this to see if you should ban some of this or demonetize it, you're in the wrong fucking place. Go look at your site. Go find Andrew Tate lying about me. Get rid of that piece of shit. And squash him for good. He's a lying, worthless, dangerous piece of shit. And if you don't get rid of him, I'm coming for you. So, take care of that. Well, it turns out that Apple is decoupling a little bit, or at least we like to think so, from China. They're going to be making more phones in India.
All right. So as you saw live, his little segue to the Apple thing. But I thought, did I miss it? Where he's like, or I'm just thinking it, that he's like, YouTube, you pieces of shit. And I don't know if you guys follow or watch or have heard of Steven Crowder, who's also just recently got banned by sharing one of his lives. He had a guest. I think her name is Carrie Lake. And, she used to be in TV. Now she's a politician. Anyway, assuming that you guys know about all this, that, he got banned, or at least another strike, and off YouTube for God knows how long now. And it's funny because he does this whole skit, especially in the end. He's like, all right, gotta go. Anyway, YouTube, piss off. So, because... let me tell you guys right now, I just got a video banned. And they were like, oh, and I followed through and I, filed an appeal. And they're like, yeah, according to our censorship, it's definitely misinformation. And it was that skit. I don't know if you guys saw like a clip that I had done in my live. So I'm surprised they didn't take the whole live down, but they took that one clip that I made from the live. of Stephen Kirsch and what he had to say about the V. And I can't say it because, I try not to say those trigger words, but then sometimes they come out because I'm being me. I'm being natural, right? I'm being 100%, especially live, right? And I'm like, what? They're like, no, sorry, misinformation. Meanwhile, Fauci finally is, I'm retiring. Really? The timing, how convenient. Number one, right? Number two, it's like, wait, the CDC just, right after I got my video pulled out. And it's like, I just shared somebody else's video of their experience on people in their family and friends and whatnot dying because of the V. That's misinformation. How is somebody's experience misinformation? Why can't an opinion? So I'm all about, okay, this is a private platform. It's a private business. They can do what they want, right? You can be free service to a customer at a restaurant, whatever. I got that. But dude, it just cracks me up. Not like in the ha-ha, funny way. But it's like, again, they're assuming that we need to be told what to think, that we can't handle certain information, that we can't decipher, that we can't do our own homework or research. But I understand, because that's coming back to the whole Andrew Tate thing. He would not have been who he is or became what he became, especially on the social platform, if he didn't have something that people can relate to and understand and want and need at that. And again, with my little props today, right? My little Andrew Tate. Because as you know me, I'm very masculine for a female. I might look female, sound female, but I'm very masculine. And so I got so much to say about this. Because again, would men look at me and look for advice or inspiration, solace? Oh, because I'm a female. Really? It's not just because I have so much male energy in me, in my personality, my delivery, even the way I dress sometimes. But it's the fact that, all right, guys, so if there's a bunch of weak men, lonely men, desperate men, lost men, I'm with you. But to point to this guy, it's neglecting the entire reason how he became who he became and why people are even following him. Right? So, do I agree with this guy? No. But my first instinct was, he's just a show. This guy's a pussy. That's exactly, as a woman, I'm telling you, this guy does not exude manliness to me. Even if he's got a lot of things that I agree with, and I go, wow, this really does sound like good masculine, like the weak, supposed lonely, nowadays current type males, I guess, in their 20s, early 30s. But to blame this guy, why don't we look at the parents? Why don't we look at the school system, society? All the reasons. Not just that. How about modern technology and the fact that so many of them are playing video games all day long? Or when they get off work, they come straight to the video game. And their whole life is cyber and not real. I have worked one-on-one with so many people, especially in their 20s. Like, no, but, I just don't know how to do this. Or I'm just going to get on an app, and that's how I'm going to meet women. But then I'm teaching them, I'm coaching them and saying, but, like, why can't you be more aggressive? Is being aggressive really what makes a man? Because I'm aggressive, and I'm a female. Because I think that when you're hungry, you do whatever you got to do to eat, right? You do whatever you do. If something breaks down and you don't have a man around, you figure it out. Or thanks to modern technology, you can go to YouTube and be like, how to fix this, how to change this, right? I mean, this is ridiculous that it's so easy to ban somebody because you don't like what they had to say, but let's not talk about the fact that where's the symptom? The symptom! Anyway, and there's a lot of people that I watched their take on this whole thing, and they also mentioned a few things similar to what I'm just saying. But again, this was my first thought. But do I think this guy is like the bomb. He's the man. We should look. No, there's so much about him that, for me personally, it's a turnoff. Total turnoff. And even if I was in my 20s, I'd be turned off. Because honestly, I would just look at this guy and I could just feel it. Watch. All right, hold on. So here's Steven Crowder that also shared, because although he's been banned on YouTube, he still has his Rumble and his own, I guess, mug club on his website and Blaze TV and whatnot. So check this out. Okay. All right. You see this, guys? Okay. All right. You know what? I wonder if I... Okay, cool. Much better, right? All right, let's see.
You cheater.
Joking. Do you see it for what it is, or do you see this as actual misogyny? If you have kids, they probably don't want to watch this clip, but this is not a guy who's creating content for kids. There you go.
You cheater. You cheating. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her up by the neck. What's up, bitch? Her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor. Her panties are all wet. You go her. Every real G knows he's...
See, to me, this is funny as shit. Every real G... I guess G for gangster, right? Any real G. I mean, don't get me wrong. That is a tactic to get women like, especially not all women. That's the other thing. So it works for some women, doesn't work for all women. But I just look at this guy. I'm going, what's funny is that, wait till I show you clips of his, comeback video of his final message. In a way, I wish he didn't do that final message, because I wanted to tell you guys that I can see this guy. He had been bullied. He's got issues. like we all have issues. But I'm like, wait. What did I just do? Okay, sorry, guys.
Basic moves. These are the basic moves of pimping.
You can tell he's hiding a I don't really believe this smile.
Of course.
And it's funny because I exactly thought that when I saw that clip, or when I saw many clips that are similar to that clip. I'm like, this guy doesn't even believe in his shit. And I guarantee he's a softie. But he's got a problem with how he interprets what he really thinks and believes. And some of it also is that he knows he's going to get a reaction with that attitude. If anything, it's like entertainment. Okay, he's getting views. He's an entertainer. Like, really? We got to ban him?
Time.
That's not my brand of humor, but still.
It's not mine either, and I'm pretty dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, he's just doing the opposite day kind of sarcasm.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, yes, he does. Also, a pimp would not sort up his gal. You couldn't sell her for money.
No, exactly.
That's true.
And
That's
I say that as a true G.
Yes. Yes, I've seen him.
That is the whitest G I've ever heard.
Across 100 and Dave Street.
I know.
Trying to catch a woman who's weak.
Hit my bitch with a machete.
Oops, that was a mistake.
Grabbing an
See what I'm saying?
Aladdin sword.
I know we get offended at this.
Man,
It's like
Bobby
we should
Womack
really
really,
laugh at it
he
at the
destroyed his
very
own
least.
business.
Yeah,
But
it's
then-
weird. He just
But
Look
the
at the
thing this is
introspect.
the
I'm
problem
gonna
line
fast
is
forward.
so that you can walk on longevity
Let's see the
can
next
say
clip that you
when you see
actually
this on
shared.
your political points. This is a
that.
plushy stone you can't squeeze blood from. And you saw this week
Wait, did I already?
Saying that,
here we go.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Young men, particularly young men who are lonely, and this is something that we talked about actually last week.
saying that I felt like crying, so I cried, this makes me a real man, is as stupid as me saying, well, I felt like smashing his face in, so I smashed his face in. This makes me a real man. No. The hallmark of a real man is controlling himself, controlling his emotions, and acting appropriately.
I have something to say about that. Is really the hallmark of a real man to control his emotions? Yeah, if you're comparing a boy to a man, yes, because a boy doesn't know how to do that. And then as you become a man, you mature and you learn those things, right? Concluding or like assuming that you're actually maturing, right? But the same goes for women. If women are like, because they also mentioned that, I don't know if it's in this clip or another clip I'm going to share with you, same thing. For me personally, when shit hits the fan, I get very masculine. And what's the hallmark of masculinity? Because they mentioned that as well. It's like, what's the hallmark of masculinity? for me, a man that can be both strong, hardcore, detached from his emotion, at the same time be completely in his emotion, and which is why he has such great compassion for his mother, his sister, his wife, his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? His daughter. It's both.
Regardless of how he feels. And throughout human history, this is exactly how men had to live their lives.
And by the way, that's
Just
a really
because they
important.
had to live their lives that way doesn't mean they were perfect and they were right to be totally strong and not sharing their emotion. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Because I've never met a man that didn't have emotion. Even the ones that try to hide it 100%. My whole thing was to break it down, not to make them pussies or wusses or whatever your idea of non-masculine is. For me, it's just be honest. Let it go. And for me, the more a man cried, the sexier he was because he was honest. So I would like to demystify and take away the whole crying as being weak. I think there's a time and place when you're like, okay, I want to cry right now, but I'm not going to because I got to take care of this shit, right? The ship is sinking. Okay, I'm not going to cry right now because the ship is sinking. And everyone's going to die in here if I don't get my shit together, right? You see what I'm saying? It's all relative to the situation, the time, the moment. But if a guy's going to suppress his feelings, does that make him a man? No.
Important example, because people try and say this guy's just a douche, a machete. And look, you may or may not think that. But he used both sides of that equation.
Yeah.
He said this idea that crying, which is what the far left says, right? Toxic masculinity has made it more difficult for men to cry. Well, that's not true, by the way. We just don't cry openly all the time to make it about ourselves, and usually not in front of our women. Men usually cry in front of their male friends, their most trusted friends. Women, just so you know.
That's a good point.
Right? We've all been there. We've all been there when we have our men's group. I've had very, very good, strong men sob in my arms that were appropriate. Good friends of mine. Women, it's because men don't want to show you weakness. They don't want you to see them completely out of control because they try and control their emotions because that's what a leader needs to do. He used that example.
And again, look what he just said, because that's what a leader has to do. And so here's, again, my input, my insight, my perspective. Same with a woman. If you're a leader, that's exactly what you do. You're like, not right now, later on. Or you show it in a certain different way. But I'm telling you, that's the one thing that everyone's, again, obviously I'm stereotyping, I'm exaggerating, okay? This is for entertainment purposes only, with a few tidbits of wisdom nuggets that breaking down, crying, showing emotion doesn't make it a feminine trait. In fact, I have been saying and coaching through this because of this and things like this for years now, that if we can't be our true selves, and we're all emotional, we're all the same, we have different parts, but our makeup, our blood, how they commit, do surgery on one heart, female to the male heart, is the same. Our soul, our heart, our feelings are the same. And I've never seen a man that when you do not honor his feelings, he becomes stronger, sexier, and better in every way. In fact, I have not only clients that I've worked with, and we're talking CEOs, entrepreneurs that own massive companies. I can go down the line of these people that have supposedly all the success and the power, and they have all that classic male energy. And they've said, I actually do better when I'm with a woman. Is it really because they're with a woman and a woman's validating them? Or that woman, they're inspired because they're in love with that woman, because that woman wants them to be 100% themselves, not to pretend that they can handle the house if they can't handle the house. You get what I mean? And the fact is, we all have our weaknesses and we all have our discrepancies and fallacies, and, we're not perfect. That's the beauty about this whole shit. We're not perfect. We're not supposed to be perfect. That's why the compliment is amazing. Because whatever makes me weak, my partner makes me stronger. That's why I'm attracted to people that literally have strengths that I don't have, or that I'm weak at. I'm not as good at. And we do for each other. Does that make any sense, guys? It makes sense. Because nobody's an island, and we all need everybody. And to have the opposite of who you are, you could be a very effeminate type male, and then go with a very masculine type female, vice versa. And whether you're gay, straight, I don't give a shit. But when they say the opposites attract, there's some truth to that to a certain level. That doesn't really mean, I don't think it means, in fact, I know it doesn't mean, that when you have completely different dichotomies and religion that's very different, or belief systems, ethics, philosophies that are so different, and even if you're attracted to each other because of those differences, that usually is going to make a more complicated relationship and most likely to fail. You've got to have some core shit in common. And at the very least, the opposites. I mean, come on now. So I'm going to take a pause here. I want to say hello, Albert Rios, Steven Crowder rocks. Oh my God, I'm so glad you know about this guy. I saw Carrie Lake on CPAC and a little on Timcast. I have to look more into her, but I like what I see so far. Same here, man. Same here. Love that you said that. Hey, Schmutz Streeter. Hello. Welcome. Hey, BT 325. That would turn me the fuck off. I like that. See, that's what I want. I want sincerity and real shit on this channel all the time, especially on live stream. Albert Rios, Tate is hilarious. He sounds like a fool. Yeah, like, come on. Like, and doesn't he have the right to make mistakes? To be young, dumb, full of cunt? You know what I mean? And again, these are little things that we all say and we propagate and whatnot. But hold on. I'm going to show you the next one. I was going to go into the whole Leo King guy that I was talking to you about because, again, I look at this guy's chart and I'm thinking, watch this. Okay. And this was the actual channel and the actual video that I had first heard of him. And this was what? August 16th.
Sun, Uranus conjunction. No, this is what's weird. He's direct opposite of.
And this is his astrology chart. Now, we don't know his exact time of birth. So this is like only knowing half of the person, right? When you do astrology, you need to know that really gives you the full picture.
Trump, who's Sun, Uranus, and Gemini.
22.
So it's almost like he's trying to be. It's almost like he's trying to steal the Trump way, but in a Sag way.
Yeah.
And let me explain to you, because I believe he is let me look back. When he's saying like the Trump way, but in a Sag way, it's because Trump is a Gemini and Andrew Tate, I guess, is a Sagittarius. Which
That's actually a good way to put
I
it.
forget now.
Where like Trump
Yeah, because that's where his son
will
is.
say
That's
some
right
crazy
here, the
stuff, but
And
it's
I know.
got
Not that you guys are like, yo, Olga, I don't care about astrology. But seriously, this video, they did a take on him before all this other stuff came out in the media. And I was like, interesting, because I was looking for that kind of information to also give my 2 cents. Now, again, I mean, I'll play more if you want me to play more. But you all know that I also mentioned in the description that I've been having a lot of requests about a reaction video. While you guys are here live, please let me know. I'm coming down to 2 reaction videos I'm going to do right after I'm done with Tate. I'm not done with Andrew Tate yet. I'm getting there. But I'm not done yet. And I've been getting requests, a lot of like Tom McDonald requests and also Sansom. So I was like, you guys tell me, do I do Tom? Do I do a Sansa? Tom, I've got requests for balloons, famous, I wish, brainwashed. And these are all videos that I have not watched from him. I got a request for fake woke, but I had already watched it. So I don't want it, I want it to be a real live first time reaction. But I already got a few requests for Sansom, What About Us? And I have no clue who this guy is. And I've been waiting for this moment. But you guys tell me, do I do a Tom McDonald, which song? Or do I do a Sansom, What About Us? That's how I'm going to wrap up this live today. Meanwhile, segue back to Andrew Tate And here's what these guys have to say about him as well. These ABBA and Preach. Let me know if you're familiar with this guy. But I'm like, let's share different perspectives. I think we all agree across the board that it shouldn't be banned. And I can't believe that anybody be like, ban them, ew, I don't like it, it's bad. And that's it? And your whole life and every platform gets done? It's so wrong in so many levels that I don't understand how these companies are actually doing this unless they're really, and this is where I'm coming from, they're banning him to just send a message. It ain't about him or what he's talking about. It's to send you a message. Who's in power? Fear me. Guys, FYI, if you don't know, the links are in the description below. Either way, if anything ever happens to me, because like I said in the beginning of the stream, I had already a video removed last week. I'm on Rumble. I'm on BitChute. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Keep those comments coming. I'm coming back.
Because there is no other side. So now they just see this guy getting bigger and bigger with no counter voices. And now they want to ban it to make themselves feel better. You didn't offer a healthy solution, right? You didn't say why. You didn't say how we're going to fix the problem. You just said get rid of him, get rid of the figurehead. Now, of course, there's young, impressionable people, and they're going to be swayed, and it's going to cause problems. But I would argue these are problems that we have to deal with. These are problems that we have to deal with as a society and confront this issue rather than just trying to ban it outright and not discuss the problem. Because if we're honest, nobody's trying to talk about it. I watched a bunch of the news coverage on this dude that was happening on mainstream channels. And you know what they were just saying? Oh, he's a misogynist and he's inappropriate for young people. It's like, well, why are the young people gravitating towards him? What are the issues? How come y'all never spend...
And you know what? While we're there, real quick, do you guys know what misogynist actually means? Because as a lot of things these days, if you say it enough, whatever, it's like, oh, misogynist, bad guy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's positive, but I'm going to bring up the definition of misogynist. And as you guys know, they've also been altering the meaning of a lot of things in the dictionary. So whatever I show you today or whatever you see in one place, don't just look at one place, look at many. Okay? But all right, for this moment, let me just do a quick segue on the meaning of misogynist. Because, I mean, even the word doesn't sound really positive, right? And I'm going to come back. So here we go. Misogynist. Feeling, showing, or characterized by hatred of a prejudice against women, of relating to or being a misogynist. A song with misogynist lyrics. As you might imagine, the group's ethos is extremely misogynistic and accepting of violent threats against women. And I appreciate the examples that they give in a sentence on how to use that word. But the word means feeling, showing, or characterized by hatred of or prejudice against women. So it doesn't necessarily have to be hatred. It could be a feeling. You don't have to actually show it. You could just say it, right? Just because you feel it. I was in an Uber yesterday, and I actually asked the Uber driver, who was male, and I go, "What do you know what misogynistic or misogynist means?" And he's like, "No, not really. I mean," I was like, "Well, I'll put it to you in a nutshell. If you say you don't know what it means, let me put it to you in a nutshell, like in a very like colloquial, basic format. I'm like a guy who doesn't like women, right? I mean, okay. Are you not allowed to not like women? Are you not allowed? And first of all, do you want someone to act like they like women and they don't? Do you want them to be fake? So if you're not out there going, yay, I'm pro-woman. Women are the best. They're fine. We're not going to ban them. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, they're doing all kinds of atrocious things. Which takes me back to the whole Epstein client list. It's like, get a clue. And why don't you attack the real perps? Because some fool, if no one cares, and thank you, Albert Rios, that you mentioned that, he's a fool. Whatever. That's exactly how I took it. He's an idiot. He's young. He's dumb. And he's saying all kinds of shit. And don't get me wrong, good for you. You're trying to say, hey, this is how I do it. You know, you try to pretend tough guy. You're not the first guy that's ever pretended to be tough when they're not. And that's my take on the whole thing in a nutshell. He's not tough at all. And hello, right when I was about to tell you guys this, and I was all ready to be like, let me tell you, I'm going to call this guy out, and he's full of shit. But he should not be banned. 100% not. In fact, let's keep them around so we can learn from them and then help the people that really do get attached to him and want to be a part of him or like him, whatever they think delusionally. Is this really who he really is? Of course not. Hence my sunglasses today. Am I my sunglasses? Come on now. But then, I'm sorry, I'm going to finish playing real quick, just a few more minutes of what these two guys said. And then I'm going to take it to his final message video that he posted.
Spend time discussing that. No? Okay. I just noticed a pattern. I noticed a pattern. And the reason why I'm telling y'all this, and you watching, whether you hate him or love him, I don't care. This is going to happen 100 times more. And it's going to be amplified. And let me also say this. When you ban somebody, you know what happens?
You just create a hero.
Because people who want information for themselves, like, why are you guys keeping me from this guy? Let me hear him. And then they're going to listen to a couple of his clips, right? The more tame ones that are allowed to stay online. And they're like, this guy makes a lot of sense. You know, when he's talking about the fact that a lot of young men are lonely, like, I get that. Why is this guy banned? You guys are going to create somebody who's pretty much unbeatable.
And now,
So there you go.
it's just weird the way.
Hold up.
act.
Didn't they just ban Trump?
Yeah.
Didn't they just ban Trump? Ain't he about to win for a second fucking term?
He did try not to make that happen.
But
yeah. You know, the thing that's weird of how you act is you think this guy, this Andrew Tate guy, is a cancer, right? So he's a symptom of a cancer, really. Mm-hmm. By removing him and not addressing the root, the cancer just comes back stronger. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. If you just remove the lump without addressing the root, the cancer comes back stronger. You're not solving the issue. Mm-hmm. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. If I have a recurring pain, why do you want to address that? You have other functioning body parts in your body. That's what you're doing. That's you. That's you. You have other places that are working in your body. You're good. It don't work like that. Mm-hmm. If I have an issue, I have to address the issue. And sometimes to address the issue and to fix the issue, you have to comprehend it. If you don't understand it and you just remove it, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Hello?
But that's just me. So I understand why he's banned. I just went on the technical term of it, right? But I understand the fact that that's not how you solve the situation. But I just didn't want to repeat myself from other videos that we did.
yeah. Well, listen, let us know what you guys think. Do you guys agree or disagree? We want to hear from you guys. Do you guys think it's a good thing? Do you think it's going to lead to a better world? Or do you think it's just more of the same? I want to hear from you.
I'm going to like it. I'm going to like your little video, guys.
You know what's going to happen?
Thank you so much for sharing. Blessings. And now, can you see that? Oh, still trying to figure out, why can't I go from screen to screen? Now, here's his recent final message. Again, as you can see, it's like an hour and a half. All right? And I was sizing him up, his body language.
It was between two consenting adults.
And it's pretty impressive how he's coming through. And he addresses a lot of things. He addresses, like...
our safety aspects, safety concerns, which we're going to talk 5,000 death threats.
Hold on a second.
The social media companies have yet to take any action against this. They were uninterested.
Apparently he also mentioned in this video, like, he didn't do anything against the rules and regulations and whatnot of Instagram. So why did he get banned? And he shows, like, some of the accusations, like, you know, being aggressive, you know, in a very bad way with a woman who then she comes and says he's a really nice guy. Like I said, I think this guy's full of shit and he's pretending. And that's all it is. But you know what? If people that want to look towards, like, they're looking, like, maybe the kids nowadays, when I mean kids, like young men, you know, they don't watch John Wayne movies. Like back in the day, you know, somebody would like, John Wayne was my hero or whatnot, or someone I looked up to, my idol. But nowadays they don't have that. They're just not connected to that. It's so far removed from them. This guy comes in. Like I'm going to see if I can get an interview with this guy. I'm not kidding you, because we're going to have it's going to be intense because I'm going to call him out. And if he's so strong, I won't be able to crack him if he's truly strong, the way he says he is, which is good in a sense. But in this video, he talks about how much he loves women, his nephew, his niece, his mother, like, so, and there's some conflicting things in this video because he talks about as well how he really cares about women, respects them, and men should just be strong and take care of the woman and protect her, and all these like old classic ways of the male stereotype figure. And what I mean by stereotype, it's like, well, if you're physically stronger than me and somebody's going to knock on my door and they're breaking in and we're in bed together, I'm like, baby, go see who's at the door. Seriously, but not because I'm weak or that I'm not willing to defend myself. But if I got a man next to me and I know he's stronger, you feel me. We don't have to say much about this. Okay, let me just show you this quick, and let me know, guys, in the chat if you've already seen this.
Has come forward saying I've hurt her. Not one. There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends.
Listen, hey, you stupid bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen?
Hello everyone, I just wanted to say something about the video that's been released recently about me and my ex-boyfriend Andrew Tate. Andrew is my still great friend. What you guys saw on the video, it's just what we used to do. It was just pure game. He's a great guy. He would never hurt anyone unless he's fighting.
The left understand that kink shaming is a negative thing, from my understanding. She has come forward and said that it was all just a game. And still, that video is being used and sent around the internet saying I'm a woman beater. If I said it was a game, and she said it was a game, who are other people to then comment on our lives, our private lives, which got leaked, and tell us it's not a game? It was between two consenting adults, and we decided to do something ourselves, and we both agreed it was fine, and she has not come forward trying to accuse me of anything. So who are others to do that? That's just kink shaming, which that's all it is. So no women are accusing me of anything. No women are accusing me of misconduct. I champion women all the time. I say about how they should be protected, how beautiful they are, how much I love my grandmother because of the amount of children she had.
My grandmother had 9 children. It was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable?
Yes, and thank you for sharing that. But get this.
Happens especially in America. They call the...
I think it's too easy to blame this guy versus the women that think he's hot. What's wrong with the women? And who raised these women to be this way? Because no matter how much society has an influence on us, or our school and all the indoctrination, you got some strong parents, some strict parents like I had. My mother told me, all men, and I'm not saying she's right, but it influenced me when she said, this is old school stuff, right? She's like, all men want is one thing. And if you get pregnant, don't you dare come here. To the point that she literally said, you come here pregnant, I cut your legs. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy shit. But it gave me a perspective to protect myself, to have self-respect, self-love. And don't get me wrong, I was wild, I was crazy, I still am. I've always been completely unconventional. And it hasn't been an easy road. But I knew to have self-respect at the very least. And I think that any woman or girl, young lady, who looks at men like this and like, my panties get wet. No, honey, no. A real woman, and you could be a real woman at 20, okay? So this is not about age. It's about a real man is a man who respects me, honors me, loves me, adores me, caresses me, takes care of me when I'm sick, picks me up, lifts me up, morally, mentally, physically. That's a strong man. A loving man is a strong man. And maybe you weren't taught, if you're a man and you're listening to this broadcast right now, or you watched the replay, and maybe no one ever taught you how to be loving, but you have it in you. You are made of love. Everything in this entire universe is made of love. And that's a fact. Go build a garden and piss on it and see what happens. And then build another garden and love it and see what happens. With that, I am going to conclude. And I was going to go further. But I guess I'll do a part 2 to this Andrew Tate and then some. And you know what? I haven't seen a request on what music video to do today. So make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, even if you have, because when I do it, I don't always get the notification. In fact, for some reason, on my other channel, when I look to see notifications from this channel, I'll get the live notification the next day. So guys, keep your eyes open. Stay tuned. Leave in the comments. I want to see whatever song and artist request I get the most will be the next one I do in line. And then, of course, I'll keep the option open for the next live. And you guys request what song you want me to react to. Until next time, much love. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Don't let the bastards get you down.